All right, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into this story. Nah, for real, hit the subscribe button. Listen, this whole Brittney Griner story, we've been following this from the get-go, from the inception, from the beginning when it all went down. Things are looking pretty bad right now. But I know that's not what supporters of Brittney wants to hear, and I'm absolutely sure that's not what she herself wants to hear. I don't know, man. I gotta be the first one to say it. But looking at her facial expressions today, because she went to court in Russia, and when she went before the judge, after waiting all this time to see a judge, when she went before the judge, she was told that she is going to have to stay at least another 6 months under whatever conditions. Now, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a psychologist, psychiatrist, any kind of mind or mental health doctor, but there's a particular picture. If you look at her face, it looks like BG is going through it mentally. I mean, anybody would, but it looks deeper than that. For me, it looks like she is at the point where you start to ask yourself, I don't know if I can take much more of this. You know, I'm not saying she's being suicidal. You never know, though. You don't know what she's going through there. You don't know what they're doing to her there. She is somewhat more of a political prisoner now than she is anything else. And looking at that look on her face where her eyes were like blurred wide, I'm like, yo, I don't know. It doesn't look like they're even treating her friendly anyways. So shout out to NPR.org for this. Says that Brittney Griner briefly appeared in public Monday and moved one step closer to facing a trial on drug charges in Russia. Now, in a shortcut proceedings, a judge ordered her to be detained for the length of her trial. Her legal team told this to the news entity from the U.S. The next hearing is scheduled for Friday, July 1st. Griner's lawyer, which is Alexander Boykov, said. So I guess she has some Russian lawyer. The trial will officially start that day, which is July 1st. Y'all keep her in your prayers. They're trying to give her like a decade in prison. But it will begin with technical matters such as reading the indictment and reviewing the case files, he said. So that's not even the start of her case, but it's the preliminaries. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to have quite some time sitting there waiting to hear the outcome of this. If you followed the video we did before concerning her situation, experts already said that they believe that the Russian government is going to play politics with her. And since she is a high profile person, come on, this is BG we're talking about. Brittney Griner is very well known. You're talking about a 5-6 time Olympian, one of the most decorated, highly athletic. She even plays basketball in Russia for $1 million per season after her season ends in the US. And she does this every year, and she's been doing this every year for quite a few years now, right? So it's not like they don't know her, but they grab a hold of her because, you know, she came in with those vape cartridges that they said had THC residues inside of them, and according to the Russian law, that's illegal. Now, here's the funny thing. Because we all know that people in a certain status with a certain amount of wealth, they normally get treated different from regular old schmegler-degler folks like me and you. It's funny to see the U.S. public react to this situation. You know, I get on Facebook and I'm looking because the story broke and it was posted there, and then on Twitter, and I'm looking at Facebook and I'm looking at the comments, and it's funny because it's divided. You know, I see a lot of black people or a lot of gay people saying free Brittney Griner, you know, send BG home, that kind of stuff. And then I see a whole lot of white people saying stuff like, well, no surprise here, she broke the law, so what are we complaining about? You know, and that was consistent with the undertone from a lot of white people online. So this is actually even turned into a black and white thing, with black people saying free her and white people saying keep her, we don't care, why is this making news, she broke the laws, do what you have to do. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's funny because those same people, if this was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl who played basketball, they would have been like, oh my God, she only had vape cartridges that had residues in it or whatever. Why are you guys being so harsh? Free her. They would be cursing the president out and saying the president is not doing enough to get her out. But since it's BG is openly gay, and BG is also considered African American, then it's a whole different look at her issue, which is kind of sad, you know? But anyways, moving forward, the next hearing, her lawyer said, should be scheduled for July 1st. The news emerged about a preliminary court session that was closed to the public, so we don't know what's going on in there. But journalists did get a rare glimpse of her as the WNBA star walked through a hallway in the courthouse. Now, she ain't allowed to say much, so it's not like she could say, help me, and I wish she did, because her face says, help me. Her face says, please rescue me. Please get me out of this, you know? And it's sad that she is not getting the help that she needs. And 40 minutes later, the preliminary hearing was over. No comments from Griner. She sat through that hearing and was not allowed to say a word, and she did not say a word. Her Russian lawyer says that the judge extended her detention for the length of her trial. No date has been set for the actual trial. Curiously, no U.S. Embassy agents were present for the hearing. However, they had said before that they were going to be there. They were going to be standing by. They were going to be present, but nobody showed up. You know, so I wonder how Brittney is feeling right now. She's probably feeling lost. She's probably feeling like nobody is there for her. She's probably feeling stuck. She's probably feeling like, yep, I'm definitely going to be here for 6 more months. And more than likely, when the Russians say 10 years, I'm probably going to. Mind you, experts have already told U.S. personnel that more than likely, Brittney is probably, they're going to try to give her the max amount of time. And that's a part of how they will get at the U.S. It's like, release this person that you guys have in custody. And they have a couple of people on the list that they want to be released, right? One person in particular, which we covered in our last video. And they're probably going to say, hey, we either put her up, lock her up for 10 years, or we can release her now if you release this guy. So it's going to be a swap. And that's what they're betting most likely is going to happen. The Phoenix Mercury and U.S. Olympic team star was handcuffed. She had 4 security officers and a dog on her. And she was led down a hallway to a courtroom for her hearing proceedings. 4 security officers and a dog on her. And not only that, if you notice, she was handcuffed to an officer. Now, I've never even seen them do this in the U.S. Like, they handcuffed the prisoner to an officer. You would think with 4 security guards on her and a guard dog, and she is handcuffed to an officer, that she must have slaughtered somebody or something. She did not respond to journalist questions, and at one point she simply shook her head as she continued walking. You know, I want to say that she's a strong person. I can't imagine, I don't know her background growing up, what she's been through. Sometimes you got to go back to those rough places in your growing up and pull inspiration from those places. Like, I've made it through that, so I can definitely make it through this. And I hope she has that inspiration and that place to pull stuff from, because as far as this goes, she's not allowed to have visitors. So it's not like anybody is visiting her. Her wife's not visiting her. Other players, the whole WNBA is supporting her, but she's not allowed to have people come visit her. You know, she is not allowed to have a home cooked meal. She's not allowed. She's in prison, and she's in prison in Russia. And she is being treated extra differently due to the political climate surrounding the relationship with Russia and the U.S. and Ukraine, and where the U.S. stands on Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. Wrong timing for her to be caught up in something like this. Griner is 31 years old, and she has now been held in Russia in custody for 130 days and counting. And the judge just ordered that she sit there for another 6 months. I don't know. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the picture where you saw her face with her eyes bulging out. What does that picture say to you? Because to me, it says, I don't think I can take much more of this. I need help. And I'm starting to run low on motivation. That's what it says. I wish them all the best. I wish her all the best. And I hope things work out in her favor. We'll continue to follow this. So hit that subscribe button and stay close. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.